Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Hangout with ST. She is Alyssa.
And he's Hairianto. A Hangout with ST is a weekly show where we bring you top stories of the week.
Anything that is local to everything that's happening
around the world.
And this is episode 83.
Almost very close to 100. I can almost smell it.
17 more episodes.
17 more with about 4
And
more
that
months.
is 4 months. There we
That
go.
was 4 more months.
Because earlier on rehearsal, don't know
I
why.
said 5 months.
Yeah, she
I don't
divided
know
by
why.
3.
Yeah, I also don't know why.
But it's okay.
I just want life to go by quicker.
I think
so. Faster than
But I think it's because your geniusness is different as well.
That's right.
And we'll explain exactly why we made that reference.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, you find out soon.
But of course, it's so nice to see all of you tuning in to us as well. And again, we're coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom.
So do leave your comments and we'll read it later during the show.
Yeah. And this week, I'm very excited, actually.
Because there's hope for us all.
There is
right?
hope for us
so the topic we'll be discussing today, gifted preschool programs, yes or no?
Yeah. And really, when we extrapolate it, then we talk about the idea of geniusness, right? What is really the definition of genius? Does it just only mean that as long as you score straight A's in academic, therefore you are a genius straight away?
And does getting to gifted program means it's a big deal?
Yeah, and you're going to be a genius throughout your whole life.
We'll find out more.
We'll find out more. I mean, hey, we didn't make it into gifted, but I think we are genius.
I think we turned out fine. We turned out okay, I believe. I like to believe.
And then our second segment, we're going to talk about really what are some of the ways that you can lend a helping hand. Does not necessarily mean, money is just the way to go, the answer to go,
And then for our positive vibes segment, we'll be talking about a climate change activist, Greta Thunberg.
And the video actually made its rounds online, right?
That's right.
Pretty sure a lot of you would have seen that as well. So make sure that you partake in our conversation, leave your comments, let all your friends and family members know that we are live. And on that note, we didn't actually plug in our social media.
Right, that's right. Okay, so we do have our own Instagram and email, Hangout with ST. You can slide into our DMs, you can drop us emails just to say hi.
Yeah.
I know we have someone emailing us very regularly, every
Alex.
week without fail.
Yeah, Alex, and I've been trying to keep up lah.
I know, good.
Yeah.
Hairianto should get an award for this, actually.
Okay, let's see what people have said online.
And you know what? Last week we made it onto Reddit. So what someone
tell us more
did,
about that. Yeah.
Okay, so what someone did was to screenshot different instances where we were looking at our phones. Like, I don't know why, but this person just did it where we look at our phones, and then the person said, what has Singaporean talk shows come to? But you know that was unfair because that person purposely chose the parts where we were looking down at our phone.
Because we were checking out your comments.
Exactly.
Right?
So we're going to do it right now.
But we have somebody, a hero, basically a knight in shining. I am assuming
Someone
that
called
it is
Milo Dinosaur, was it?
Milo Stylo Dino or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Milo
I'm just
Stylo.
going to assume that it is a dude. It could be a lady as well. So it could be a knight or it could be a lady in shining armor that helped us, swooped in and actually explained, right, that hey, they are checking out comments. It's not fair that you did that. But I think more importantly, what we wanted to say is that we made it onto Reddit lah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We made it onto Reddit. Organically, by the way.
Yes, let's see. We have, Sean Lowe is back.
Yay, Sean Lowe. And he said, I skipped way too many episodes. Yes, you did. And we've noticed that you've not been coming for a while. Have you been studying?
Ching Yao Chua, apologies if I've got your name wrongly. Hello, pretty girl and handsome man.
Hi.
Hey, why pretty girl? Why cannot be pretty lady?
And why can't I be a handsome girl?
Yeah, or handsome boy. Yeah.
Do you know I was mistaken for a boy when I was young because my hair is so short. Then I went to a ladies' toilet, then the auntie scolded me. How can you come inside here? You're a boy. Yeah. I still remember. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
But that's a good point. That's a good point to make. Yeah, you just kind of assume.
Yeah, why can't I have short hair, right?
Yeah, exactly. Say no to stereotypes.
Julius Lorando says, so we should sue that person. I guess you're referring to the comment on Reddit. No need. Actually, that person did us a favor. The person put us on Reddit.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, but more importantly, let all your friends and family members know that we are online, and of course, partake in our conversation. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so we're all too familiar with the gifted program. I'm sure we've all not been through the program, but we've at least known friends who've been through it.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise, right, gifted program?
Exactly. So it's like you sit for a test, you ace it, and then whoop, the next thing you know, you don't see this person in school anymore.
Yeah, that person's not your friend anymore because they're too smart for you.
Speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience, I had a friend, she went to a gifted program, then after that, she was not a friend after that.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So they usually sit in P3, right?
Yeah, I think they sit, for example, in P3.
In P3, but can you imagine now, same thing, but then it is done to preschool children.
When they're about 3 or 4 years old, can you imagine? So now there's a growing preschool and enrichment scene for younger children, and a handful of education providers. They have started not only just enrichment programs, but also full-day preschool for high ability. I like how they say high ability children.
High ability. And the thing is, right, like the GEP test at P3, to get into these schools, they need to sit for a screening test as well.
Yes, it's an IQ test. They have to score at least 120. On average, I believe children, they have an IQ about 100. That's the average.
That's the average, yeah.
Yeah,
have you ever taken an IQ test?
I have. I've taken quite a few because I don't... Yeah, and okay, anyway, yes, I've taken a few.
Yeah. What was the test? What was the score?
124.
There you go. You are considered high ability.
Okay, I have to let you know my maths was very bad. So primary 1, right, I already had band 3 for maths. Can you imagine primary 1?
So that's why we say...
So my mom gave up on me for
when
maths,
you
actually.
are younger, if let's say you're not that great, you could still be great later on.
Then again, I took this test online. I didn't take it at a proper IQ, I don't know, center or something like that. So.
But what's more important is that it then shows that IQ tests, they are not conclusive. And that is what some experts have said as well, right?
Yes.
So we have Associate Professor Lahir Singh from NUS Psychology Department said that there is very limited evidence that preschool IQ testing predicts long-term academic achievement in elementary school and beyond.
So there's hope for us still.
Yes. And more importantly also, of course, we don't want to just look at academic programs because really there is more to life than that, right? Definitely. What about creativity? Right? What about developing your socio-emotional capacity as well?
And your linguistic skills. You're very good in speaking.
Thank you. Thank you. So our question to viewers right now is, gifted preschool programs, yes or no, why?
So our personal opinion, and I say this not because I'm not in a gifted program, but I feel that it's it got me questioning like, okay, I think it's great that children, they are getting to learn at their ability now, right? Because before that, in the story, it said that they were very bored. But then they wouldn't be forced, I would say, forced to deal with maybe friends who are not as fast as them academically. And I feel that then they'll be in their own bubble, and then no, that's not how real life is, right?
And the thing is also, according to the providers as well, they were saying that, you know, it's not about, so they were saying, oh, is this unnecessary pressure? And they replied, they said hardly, because, you know, they don't give worksheets or extra work, extra activities. It's about basically serving these children with a different diet. Right? So different children have different diet. Therefore, you know, these students, they are high ability. Therefore, you know, they would fit in better if it's not in a normal or mainstream school.
But of course, the whole reason why these programs exist now is because obviously there's a demand for it. And really to talk us through it all and to give us more expert opinion, we have 2 guests on the show.
First up, we have Academic Director and Senior Principal of St. James Preschool Services, that is Dr. Jacqueline Chang. And we also have Associate Professor herself from the Department of Psychology and US, Professor Lahir Singh. Woo, 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 woo.
You quoted earlier, actually.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, so we'll do a very casual on-camera shift. I mean, anything goes now, right? On Hangout with ST. Hello, hi. Thank you for coming down. First things first, would you like to say hi to anybody? Hello.
Hello.
One from St. James.
Singapore.
Represent, anyways, represent, St. James, represent.
Yeah, there we go, there we go. Okay, maybe we can start things off. We'll probably start with Dr.
Chang, right? Dr. Chang.
Right. Dr. Chang, you know, you've been in the early childhood sector for a long time now.
Yes, a long time.
What are your overall views, you know, on these gifted preschool programs? Let's just cut to the chase and just go straight in. What do you think of them?
Early childhood development overall is meant to be holistic. That means we don't just develop one part of a child. The whole idea is to develop the whole child. And so cognitive development, academic smarts are just one part of it. You know, but children should be exposed to physical development, social emotional development, all these areas and not just specifically one area. But that is not to say in such schools they do not deal with that area. But my main issue, I think, is it a good idea, like what you said, Alyssa, to just group children with all the similar abilities together? In one sense, yes, you know, they can learn at a certain pace, but really, the early childhood classroom is a microcosm of society, and society is diverse.
Yep.
And because of that, I think it is helpful for children to be in a diverse setting with children of different abilities so that they learn how to navigate that social space.
And then they can also learn from each other. Then they can learn the skills of maybe teaching or helping someone who, you know, who may not understand certain things.
And also it helps them hear different perspectives, you know, and children with not as high IQ do have perspectives too, and they're just as valid.
Yeah. And Prof, what about yourself? You know, what are your views on this? Because in the story itself, you were quoted. You know, we got you to give your opinions on it. If you could, you know, go on further to tell us what are your views on these programs?
Yeah, so I'm coming from the perspective of research, and I think research shows us there's almost no evidence that measuring IQ with an IQ test in an infant or a preschooler tells us something about their later IQ. So I think we have to think about what our goal is as parents in exposing children to gifted education. And I think it's ironic because parents often do this to maximize the potential for learning. But in doing so, they actually deprive their children of valuable opportunities for learning, playing, learning languages, learning music, arts, all of these things, activities where a child can really engage and also grow their learning potential. So I'm unequivocally opposed to these programs. I think there's very little evidence from science to support this approach.
So what can be said now for parents who are hoping that their children are gifted, and that, you know, parents who are thinking of putting their children in gifted programs?
Well, I understand the sentiment. I think we all hope as parents that our children are gifted and that they're successful on some level. We all want to future-proof our children and make sure that we can, you know, ease their burden and remove obstacles. But I'm not sure that limiting their exposure to a small subgroup of their society is the way to do that. And also removing opportunities for learning that aren't tested in gifted programs, I think, is also a missed opportunity for children.
Now, Tasha, so earlier on, before we were just speaking backstage earlier on, and you had a personal experience, personal anecdote about the definition of geniusness. What constitutes geniusness or genuinity, right? If you could share with us again.
Now, there are people who, historically, you know, different figures who have excelled in various areas. And they come from different backgrounds. And you have those who excel in the arts, in dance, in music, in sports, in language, in so many areas. So giftedness, or I hesitate to use the word genius, because what exactly is a genius? You know, but someone who demonstrates, you know, very high ability in one area. So I like to quote Dr. Howard Gardner, who says, it's not how intelligent you are, but how you are intelligent. Which means the theory of multiple intelligences, that different people have different intelligences, different smarts, different levels. And for children, wherever they are, they can grow. But really what the parents and the educators need to do is observe these children where their natural inclinations are and support this. And when you are inclined towards something, you flow and you enjoy it. But when you're doing something that just doesn't fit and you're forced to do it over and over, it's uncomfortable. So I think one of the important things for young children, and in fact for anybody, is the joy of learning. And if you enjoy doing lots of mathematical equations, that's fine. But if you enjoy, you know, moving around and dancing, that's also fine. So it's to give space for children to develop and to find themselves what gives them joy.
So what are the areas of intelligence? What are the different intelligences? I'm saying right? Intelligences?
Okay, let's see whether we can do it between us,
the two of us.
right?
7.
Linguistic intelligence.
Okay, so that is in terms of language, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
There's kinesthetic, and so movement.
Okay,
Your athletes, your dancers, okay.
And then there is
Spatial intelligence.
Spatial
visual
intelligence.
spatial.
Visual,
Visual
okay.
spatial
Mental
intelligence,
representations.
yes.
And
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. And then there is also there are some that are further down,
Yeah.
like you also have naturalistic intelligence.
Right.
Which is common sense?
No, naturalistic as in inclined towards things that are natural nature.
How do you reason about nature?
Nature.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Okay, how does that apply in real life? So if I have a naturalistic intelligence, means I am good at...
You may be better at understanding the physical world, right? So how things, how elements
Think
operate.
National Geographic.
Yeah.
Okay, David Attenborough.
Discovery
That's
Channel.
right.
So David Attenborough, okay.
Right. Okay. Again, for those of you who are watching us right now and just recently joined us, we are joined by Dr. Chang as well as Prof. Leher from NUS. Now, so there is a there is an increased popularity of these educational providers providing gifted preschool programs. Now, there seems to be a demand of it. So we are asking whether preschool, gifted preschool programs, is it a yes or a no? Why? Let us know in the comment section below. And of course, if you have any questions at all, parents or anyone out there watching
Maybe educators yourself.
Yeah, educators yourself. If you have any questions with regard to giftedness or intelligence, IQ, anything that you want to ask our two expert guests here, you can put it in the comment section below as well.
So we were in the midst of discussing the different type of intelligences, and we've covered quite a few, about 3 or 4 now. Are there more?
Mathematical intelligence.
Which I don't have.
Do
I know that one.
And of course, it is possible that you are intelligent in one aspect of it or in multiple aspects of it as well.
Yeah.
Right? So earlier on also we talked about this as well. We talked about is it a linguistic definition then where, especially in Singapore, where when we talk about being a genius, it's almost always often linked to academic.
Book smart, right?
Book smart. When we say, oh, you're a genius, first thing goes into mind, oh yeah, person scores probably straight A's in school. Is that a problem you reckon then? That labeling of, oh, genius, and therefore equating it to just academic intelligence?
Yes, I think it's a very, it's a somewhat narrow definition of intelligence. Having said that, I understand as a parent that if my child comes to me and says, I want to be a tennis star, there's a certain amount of panic that I'll probably feel. So I think there's, we have to be pragmatic about what a child's future requires, but at the same time, I think we have to recognize the various ways in which children can express their knowledge and the various ways in which they can learn and sort of respect that diversity instead of trying to reduce it.
So one common, one word that has been popping up actually is the word parents. So maybe now we can discuss, does it have anything to do with the parents?
Well, I know that all parents generally want the best for their children.
Sure.
They want to provide and they want to maximize their children's potential and to ensure that their children have a good start in life.
Yeah.
But more is not necessarily better. So cramming a child's waking hours with many scheduled programs, I mean, research has shown that you need to play. And play is part of very healthy development. And in play and social interaction, there is much to be learned because that allows initiative, choice, whereas in scheduled programs, very often it's fairly directed. I wouldn't say all, but some. And so children could possibly be shuttled from one thing to another. But very often, if you look at the backgrounds and the stories of those who are very creative, generally they were fairly playful.
A lot of free time for play, right? So, Prof, I'd like to ask, so also in the story it was said that children do need to develop other skills. What are some skills do you think it's very important for children to learn during these formative years?
Well, I think self-management and self-regulation, so being able to manage your anxieties, being able to curb your impulses, and being able to regulate your emotions is a really important thing that children learn typically in the preschool years, being able to see other people's perspectives, having social skills, and being able to adapt and be flexible to the demands of your environment. So these are things that are not a part of IQ testing, but they're crucial skills that throughout the lifespan, and these skills are built up in preschools, not in elementary school.
So all the more they should be integrated with different children, or or different IQ or whatever talents they have, right? And not be like
just
sheep,
group,
you know?
Because the more diverse the group is, these differences will, in the sense that different children come from different backgrounds and different families, you know, and it would be interesting then for children of different backgrounds to be interacting rather than having similar lifestyles, similar exposure, because if, as you mentioned earlier, if you grow up with, you know, talking to everybody who's on the same wavelength, then later on in life you meet people who are quite different. You're not that comfortable because you haven't grown up with them and these are not your friends. And then there's the danger of
being in your bubble, right?
Being very
exclusive in that sense. And I think it is very healthy for all of us to have friends from different backgrounds and who think differently and who possibly may disagree with you about things. And it's perfectly fine for children to be at different levels of development and to have some friends who pick up certain things faster and some who struggle a little. And that calls on children's social and emotional strengths, because if my friend can't do something, what do I do? Do I go to help her? Do I say, how come you can't do it? You know, I can do it so fast, you're so slow. But these are very important points for children to be aware of.
We have a lot of comments coming on our Facebook right now. So we have Sam Kaplan that says, gifted preschool will give new meaning to kiasu parenting. We will get to that just in a bit. Kiasu parents, right? We have Sean Lowe that says, I'm sitting on the fence. It all matters whether 1, the child is willing to learn, and 2, the child is able to understand the content. Parents should also consider whether the content helps the child in future. We have Kong 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 also that says here, gifted term has been abused in the society or linked to smartness. However, giftedness was otherwise Usually gifted children always associate to behaviors problem or underperforming in study. Okay.
Is that true? Gifted children underperforming in studies?
Necessarily.
That's
not necessarily.
Not necessarily, And then, of course, we have Sam Kaplan that says no. I think she says no to gifted program for preschool. Too young for gifted program. Better to expose children to all kinds of learning and all kinds of people. And that is what Dr. Chang just mentioned earlier on. The natural curiosity and development of basic social skills are more important. Now let's go to the comment from Sam Kaplan that says, kiasu parenting, right? Advice for parents, you know, that they're so into. I mean, I was lucky because when I grew up, my mom pretty much was okay with me being on my own and, you know, developing at my own pace. But of course, like you mentioned, you know, it's only natural for parents to want to have the best for the children. What kind of advice do you have for parents, you know, who are kiasu?
Don't hold back. And you're both parents yourself.
I'm talking about myself in my younger years. A little bit of a tiger mom, you know, wanting your kid to really do well, you know, and you're pushing. And because I have a background in music and dance, I was a music and dance teacher as well. So she had to play the piano perfectly. And so I'm totally responsible for her not liking to play the piano. Because, you know, you want your children to play and you see the benefit of it. I mean, as a musician myself, I see the benefit. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't joyful, and it wasn't a joyful experience, you know, I shudder to think, oh, how I handled it. I should have just allowed her to tinker and to play and to just relax. So I made mistakes as a parent. So I think parents need to be a little more easygoing on it. And if a child really enjoys something and they want to do it more, that's okay. But I think broad exposure is really what's important. And if a child does not like it, there are many other choices one can make. And I'm talking now about giftedness in other areas and abilities in other areas, you know. And if children like to read, well and good. But some children like to move more than anything. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, although some parents panic and say, oh, my child moves too much, he can't focus. But it's important to move as well. That's got much to do with brain development. Movement is important.
And I understand from first-hand experience, you know that forcing your child to do something that he or she doesn't like, it actually backfired on you.
Totally.
Right? And it's something that you caution parents now. Maybe you want to elaborate a bit more on that.
Because you morph into this not very nice person. You know, you don't sound very nice, you don't look very nice, you know, but yet you want your child to excel. But when you step back and you think, but why? Why?
Yeah.
You know, why have that conflict? And why push? Because the excuse is you want your child to do well. But at what expense? At what expense? If I were to do it all over again, I would be a lot more relaxed. And I would probably let someone else teach my daughter the piano and not me. Not that it's wrong for a parent to do so, but because I wasn't as relaxed, it didn't help. And I was pushing in some ways for certain results musically. But thankfully today she loves music, but she doesn't really play the piano.
And Prof, what about yourself? You know, advice from your experience, and of course from the research that you've done. Advice to parents, who are so sucked into the giftedness of things, and then making sure that their children go into all these programs and all that.
Well, I understand the sentiment, and I, as a parent, feel the struggle between wanting my child to do well and wanting to sort of pave their way and letting them roam free and explore. And even if we decide to relax, in the end we're caught up in a tidal wave of pressure of other people who you may be comparing yourself against, or teachers may kind of expect children to converge more than they do. So I understand the sentiment, but then from this perspective of science, I thought it was interesting that you talked earlier about gifted programs as being a different kind of diet, because we think so carefully about how we feed our children's bodies. We consult the physician, or we consult the pediatrician. But I think we're very hasty to make decisions about how we feed our child's mind. We see an ad and we feel guilty that, oh, this is an opportunity I could jump on and this may help my child, and we don't look for the evidence. And my issue with gifted programs is I believe there are gifted adults. I just don't believe there are gifted infants or preschoolers that can be defined as such using these sorts of tests. And I don't think there's evidence that identifying an infant or a preschooler as gifted helps them to become a gifted adult. And I agree with the argument about what that does to the child's level of anxiety and love of learning, and I think it can possibly backfire.
And of course, I think really the main takeaway here is one, that there are different types of intelligence, right? And different types of geniusness, as it were, not necessarily just academic, right? And then of course, secondly, it's really about listening to your child and see what they enjoy the most.
That's right.
If they enjoy a certain particular activity, then promote that and support them in that kind of activity. And who knows, they might just be the next Joseph Schooling, right?
Yes,
and not necessarily academic.
Yeah, or Stephanie's son.
Or Stephanie's
Or JJ Lin.
Or JJ Lin, exactly. But once again, thank you so much, Prof and Dr. Chang, for coming on to the show and really to share with us on this whole idea of gifted programs for preschools. Whether is it a yes or a no, why. At the end of the day, I think we can safely conclude to say that, at the end of the day, it's really looking at the child and listening to the child as well, and see what works best for them and what they like.
Take the cue from the child.
Take the cue from the child, exactly. And I think sometimes also we tend to forget that for children, playing is also a form of learning.
Yes, it's not one or the other. They're both.
So let them play. All right,
great parent.
I make a great parent, exactly.
I know you don't like kids, but I'm pretty sure.
But I don't like kids, exactly. Once again, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Chang, as well as Prof, for coming on to the show. Moving on to our next segment. Our next segment is a social issue. What is the best way to help people? Now, recently, many ST readers wrote in asking how they could help or donate money to former taxi driver Hao Yuan Fa.
So Mr. Hao, he had inadvertently killed a woman at the Queensway traffic junction when he blacked out and lost control of his cab in March earlier this year.
And readers learned that now he's jobless because he lost his driving license after the accident. And unfortunately, he's got cancer as well.
Yeah, so they all stepped forward offering to help, give him sums of money and things like that. However, he declined all donations because he felt it wasn't right. He said that, hey, I'm able-bodied, I can still work. Actually, what I need and want right now is a job.
Right. This isn't the first time, though, that ST readers have stepped forward to help. Now, last year, readers and strangers stepped forward to help Mr. Leong Lun Wah after reading about his situation in an ST article last year, February.
So what they read was that he was looking after his wife. His wife was hurt in a collision with an e-scooter in 2016. Basically, she needs a lot of care, and her bills for her medical bills for therapy and all, it's very high. So he was kind of saddled with that. He had to dip into his savings to pay for all that, also with the maid's salary, the son's education. So it was a burden for him. So a lot of readers also stepped forward, and one of them actually even gave him a fish that he caught. I don't know why, but fish, you know.
I think it's because, you know, give a man a fish or teach him how to fish. Maybe it's that reference.
And I guess I meant to take it literally.
Exactly right. But whatever it is, for those of you who are watching us at home right now, let us know, right, what is the best way to help a person?
Because we're thinking about it. I mean, like, I'm sure all these readers, they had good intentions for sure, and they were very genuine in wanting to help. But then, you know, the receiver, maybe they don't want to receive help this way. And so that's what it got us thinking, what's the best way, or how should we help?
Or if, let's say, you have a personal experience of helping somebody and, you know, it worked perfectly fine. Because like what Alyssa mentioned, and this is something that we discussed yesterday as well, that sometimes maybe it's not about offering monetary help.
Yeah. So in the case of Mr. How, he did say it's a job he needs. It's just that I think he wasn't sure what job he could do. He can't do driving for sure because he lost his driving license. But because of his health condition and because of his age, he said that he's worried that he might not be able to handle a security job. So what else can he do then? Right?
So maybe, you know, instead of providing money, somebody who knows of a certain job or job matching.
Or is in a position to maybe give employment. Right?
Yeah, like a part-time thing. I mean, that's one way to help out as well, right? So let us know, right? What do you think is the best way sometimes to help people? So one, of course, is on the receiving end. The other, it's also about when you want to help. Right?
Yeah, so now, I mean, moving away from these two examples that we just shared, it got me thinking maybe when someone is maybe a friend, she's given birth, her fourth child, maybe she's a single mom or something like that. And then instead of just being very general, like, hey, do you need help? I mean, obviously she needs help. But you know, sometimes that when people ask us that, we're like, yeah, actually, you know, I would. Actually, I got to do this. But in the end, it's too many things, and then you feel bad for saying it, and then you're just like, no, it's okay, I don't need help.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe be a bit more specific in the kinds of help that you want to offer.
Yeah, and then also think through maybe, is it a short-term help, long-term help? Be specific, like, hey, can I, do you want me to come over and look after your child once a week? Something like that, just for example.
Yeah. Right? And of course, the other thing, the other thing about offering help also is sometimes it's not about offering something. It could just be as simple as listening to that person, being a listening ear, right? Or just being there for that person.
Yeah, then you validate their feelings.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, and that's what we do, right, for each other. Sometimes
we just like to complain to each other.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's just about listening in. You don't necessarily have to provide a certain solution, right? And sometimes, you know, we probably don't need a solution. We know.
We know what to do.
We know what to do. We just
whether or not we do it is a different thing.
Yeah, we just need to rant, right? We just need to rant. We just need a listening ear.
Yeah.
So let us know, right? And now, moving on to our new segment, Positive Vibes. There's a lot of negative news out there. We just want to have something positive, something inspiring, something heartwarming that warms the cockles of our hearts.
Well said. For this week's Positive Vibes, it's all about this speech by teenage climate change activist Greta Thunberg. She condemned world leaders for failing to take strong measures to combat climate change, and it's been making its rounds online.
Yeah, Thunberg said in a shaky but stern remarks at the opening of the United Nations Climate Action Summit that the generations have polluted the most have burdened her and her generation with the extreme impacts of climate change.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
So that was Greta. US President Donald Trump actually mocked her later in a tweet.
Yeah, but then again...
It's Donald Trump.
Right. Cannot expect a lot from him. However, world leaders and chief executives of global corporations gathered at the summit said Thunberg is right, they are failing.
So said Mr. Alan Michael Chesterday, Prime Minister of the Caribbean island nation of St. Lucia, sorry. I want to echo the sentiments and the emotion of Greta, that she could come here and condemn us all, and deservedly so.
Yeah, now yesterday Thunberg won the Right Livelihood Award, sometimes called the Alternative Nobel Prize. She was honoured for inspiring and amplifying political demands for urgent climate action reflecting scientific facts.
So hopefully after her impassioned speech, we can see something concrete happening to tackle climate change.
That's right. And with that, ending things off with Facebook Face-Off.
Okay, so this one, right? Last week, Yan won. Right? You were top form.
I was.
You were top
but
form.
I have to say though, this week I think you might win.
You think so? Because you had a look at my jokes already, actually.
It was good.
Good, huh?
It was good.
Good,
It was good. Yeah, it was a good week for you, I have to say.
It is.
Yeah.
I think because I looked at it earlier, I choked all the good ones.
I think so too. I think so too.
That's my new strategy now. Do it before you do.
Yeah. Because I only managed to get to it early this morning.
Got it.
But you were earlier than me.
I was
definitely.
earlier than you, yeah, because I kanchong already, you know?
Yeah,
You won
because
last week.
I was thinking, sometimes I like to wait up for a bit. Maybe sometimes, there are gems.
Last minute. Yeah, 11th hour, good ones,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, but oh well,
Okay.
it worked. But whatever it is, for those of you who are watching us, Facebook Face-Off is basically where we trawl through our Straits Times Facebook page to pick out the dunnest, most wittiest comments that you guys left on our Facebook page.
Yep, so we battle head to head, three each. And if you think Hairianto is funnier, you type in H in the comments.
Yep, if you think that Alyssa's comment is funnier, you type in A.
Okay, so first round, I'll go first.
Yes.
Okay, so this story is about aesthetics Dr. Georgia Lee. She made secret profits from minority shareholders' investment. She took the $2 million invested and she loaned it off, basically. So SK Tan says, wow, really very good at doctoring the accounts. Good.
Good. I like it.
I mean, I
like
didn't
it.
come up with it, but it was good, SK Tan.
Yeah. Remember we went to an event and we saw Dr. Georgia Lee?
Did we? Where?
We did,
Which
remember? I was the good company, what's that?
Good Stuff Party.
Yeah, we saw her.
Right, yes, she was there, yes.
Yeah. If only we said hi to her then. Oh, okay, moving on. My comment. So basically, this is about the legend, right? Imran. Basically, the legend of Imran, who, with his muscles, he received.
And we spoke about him, we spoke about all the memes.
Yeah, the memes that went on, right?
Yeah.
So Travel Ways says, this is the first time when I did not skip the video after the guy starts the video with, "Hi, I'm Imran." You know that financial thing?
No, oh. Well, actually, this joke had a lot of reacts, more than almost 400 reacts.
You don't know. Wait, our interns, you all know, right? Which one? The YouTube one? "Hi, I'm Imran." And then it's about this whole pyramid scheme thing, MLM.
I probably tune out, that's why I cannot. I
maybe.
tune out, that's why.
So, but whatever it is, if you think that Alyssa's comment is funny, you type in A.
You think Hairianto's one is funny, you type in H.
Okay.
Okay?
Second one. Okay, I'll go. Second round. So basically, this is about Escape Theme Park in Teluk Bahang, Malaysia.
Okay.
And it is a slide, and this slide is very long. And then you look at the picture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was my exact sentiment as well. Trevor Lowe says, "Am I the only one that thought this is the broccoli section in NTUC? It looks like broccoli."
Quite funny, and then the slide looks like a snake or something. Right? Yeah, actually. Quite funny.
Okay, Alyssa, you go.
Quite funny lah, actually. Hey, why you like that? Why you make it sound as though your jokes are so bad? They're quite good.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, okay, anyway, the one I chose is this story about the haze. So an expert at NEA says how clear the air looks is not an accurate gauge of how bad the haze is. So poor visibility may not necessarily mean it's hazy. So they're doing damage control, right? Clearly, right? Okay. So Wilfred Rainy says, okay, so flooding is podding, poor is low income, haze becomes mist. This one you must understand. So Indian Muslim is Malay. I thought actually the last one was the funny one.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean. I cannot say anymore.
Yeah,
If
cannot
not,
say anymore.
If not,
Correct,
I cannot,
So if you think that Alyssa's comment is funny, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto's one is funny, type in H.
Wow, it takes quite a certain level of intelligence.
To get that.
Yeah, certain level of genius.
Clearly you have it.
Clearly I have it.
Good on you. Good on you.
Okay, last round, Alyssa,
Last
you
round.
go.
Okay, I just took the same story. Same story, different comment.
I love this one, okay.
Okay, so same story, different comment. Simon Mock says NEA. Not exactly accurate.
Correct! I have to say! Really, I feel the case is quite bad sometimes, you know. And I have been having this cough for a week.
Sick, yeah, and now I feel it too. I feel a bit clogged up in my nasal passages, you know.
And then they keep on saying, no lah, it's okay, the haze is okay.
It's mist only.
No lah.
Rubbish.
No way. Okay, mine. So basically, this is about SingPost unveils smart stamp letterbox prototypes. No more overstuffed letterboxes or fumbling with your keys to get your mail.
Hey, you know what? We came up with this idea, didn't we? We didn't. But
we talked about it.
We did.
Yeah, and then we told SingPost, we said, don't be sorry, be better.
And they have stepped up.
Right? But the burn came from Wang Fengling. This is assuming the mail even gets delivered in the first place.
Hey, good Your jokes are actually very brutal, but you're good.
I know, right?
You just wanted to disarm me. You just wanted to throw me off, and then like.
When I read this, I'm like, my goodness.
It's good.
Burn. You know, it's that meme that. What is that? That meme? You know, pour cold water.
Or burn unit, please call burn unit.
Something like that lah.
Apply cold water on burn area. Was that the one?
Yeah. So if you think that Alyssa's comments are funny, you type in
It's okay, our intern, you can laugh out loud. It's okay, she's dying because she's trying to not laugh out loud. Behind the camera. Poor thing.
So okay, if you think that Alyssa's comments are funny, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto's comments are funny, you type in H.
Okay, we'll let you guys give a few, time for you guys to just comment.
Oh wow, Samuel Chua says it's triple H.
Ooh.
He gave it all to you, wow.
Wow. Okay, keep your comments coming in, and of course at this juncture I think we want to give a shout out to our YouTube viewers as well.
Yeah, okay, should I log on to our YouTube?
Our YouTube viewers. Now earlier on we actually had two expert guests. We have Dr. Chang as well as Prof. Lahir Singh from NUS Department of Psychology. We were talking about gifted programs in preschool. Is it a yay or a nay, and why? Right, and from there, our main takeaways are there are different types of geniusness, there are different types of intelligence. It's not necessarily genius equals to academic, getting straight A's.
So you can go and tell your parents it was okay that you didn't make it to GEP.
Yes, correct.
This is your validation.
Both of us didn't make it to GEP.
We didn't.
And then of course the other takeaway is that as parents, hey, for children at that age, playing is learning. Let them play and let them develop better, and let them enjoy what they enjoy the most, right, in terms of activities. And then we talk about lending a helping hand. What is the best way to help somebody? It does not necessarily have to be monetary.
That's true.
Right?
We do have some comments on YouTube.
Okay.
So Timothy says, well, the entire talk so far, we only talk about reasons why this program, he's talking about the gifted program, isn't going to work. So why is MOE even pushing out this program? The thing is, MOE isn't pushing it. It's actually unregulated
private, right?
at the moment. So it's private preschools, and MOE is not actually endorsing them at the moment.
So it's all privately run, right?
And then someone said Demon Child, but who, you or me?
There's
someone commented Demon Child. I don't know, is there a Demon Child somewhere we should
Okay. Are we ready to close the voting?
Oh yes. Yeah, let's close.
In 3, 2, 1, producer, who is the winner?
Who is the winner? Oh, you won! Okay. Wow, you really wanted it, clearly. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, at least I know that, my geniusness this week at least is in
that you're
picking out
funny.
That I'm
so
funny.
You're a genius with jokes.
I'm a genius with jokes.
I
don't know whether there's intelligence for that. Do we have any
Just claim it. Just claim it, yeah.
I think we need to speak to our
I think having a sense of humor, right, is a talent. It is a skill that not everyone has.
Wit, is it?
Wit as well.
Right. That is all we have for you this week. For more news and videos, do log on to our website, straighttimes.com.
We're also on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We've got an email address as well. Please send us your emails.
And slide in our DMs, right? And with that, we want to take this opportunity. I think we haven't done this in a while. We want to take this opportunity to thank everyone behind the scenes of Hangout with ST. The team has grown so much bigger now.
Yes.
Right, we have our producer, Yvonne, and then we have the people who helps with the graphics and all that, Zig, Joel, and then the sound person who makes us sound good, David, and then we have our interns here as well, and we have Raju and Kumar, our camera people. And with that, that is all we have for you this week. Make sure that you tune in next week, same time, same date as well.
Yes.
Once again, she is Alyssa.
And he is Hairianto.
Goodbye and see you next week.